Zagamaboosh, baby! Zagamaboosh. Zagamaboosh.
Week 18 is in sights.
Look at this. This is my potential second seed home field advantage dance, baby.
Okay.
And this is my crack 'em if you got him, son. Crack 'em if you got him.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Crack 'em if you got
Crack 'em
'em
if you got 'em.
responsibly.
Yeah, hey.
That's a pop 'em if you got him. That's okay. We'll take it.
That's a pop that top, baby.
And ladies and gentlemen, you don't even need an introduction to our guest. He's been on the show multiple times. He's the realistic, optimistic, smilingest Cowboys fan out there. Tony Goat Romo's up in that house, ladies and gentlemen.
Very nice of you to say. But thanks again for having me on, guys. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, dude. It's been a
Yeah,
it's
you
been
guys
a while.
you guys went Hollywood. That's what we
No.
say. You guys went big time
Hey,
and you forgot about the little guys.
No,
Just
TJ.
You were like,
we've all-
hey,
no,
Just because we've all suffered crippling addictions doesn't mean we've gone Hollywood. It's just
TGR. What it is we have that crystal ball, and we knew that week 18 was going to be such an important game. We're like, we need to go out with a bang here. And that's a lie, actually. We shot a message out to TJR, and you actually picked the 18th, and it turned out to be a really interesting week. I don't know if
That's
maybe you
true.
just couldn't meet the other 2 weeks or something like that, but the story's better. Real quick, we usually do this at the end, but just having you on, I just want to wrap up the fantasy football season right now. And TGR, I'm not coming in to say anything. I loved your story, and I've reiterated it many times, but while we have you here, I might as well again.
Yeah.
Last place in the league, second last week, going into the final week, you need a lot of chips to fall in the right place. And
That's right.
they just so happen to do so. You move up to 6th place and end up
snuck in.
and sneak in and then end up running to the playoffs, where in the final game, almost half of your starters decided to get injured.
Yeah, you got clipped. You got smoked,
You got
kid.
clipped. Welcome to fantasy football. Really awesome run. But hey, I'm sorry.
You got John Wick, son. You
Okay.
got John Wick, son.
We took it, but
Yeah.
it was really fun to watch those last 4 weeks.
I got a couple of things to say. One thing, congratulations on your Mickey Mouse championship. And because you're right, I was checking. I was like, oh my God, not Mostert. And then, oh my God, not Amari Cooper. But speaking of Amari Cooper, he is still making things happen for this Cowboys fan. What was it, over 50 plus points? Oh my
Yeah, it's
God, he
something like
went
that.
nuclear.
Yeah, and thank goodness we got a 5th round pick for Amari Cooper in IRL.
What did that even turn into? Do we remember? Who did he
yeah, it
draft?
was. So it wasn't. People think it was Deron Bland because we had the 2 picks in the 5th, and we got Deron Bland in the 5th. But I think we actually had 3 picks possibly in that 5th round. But it wasn't. It wasn't Deron
Was that
Bland.
the
It
Gilmore?
was whoever else. No,
No, it wasn't a
was,
trade pick. Okay.
I think
I'll
it was
look.
a D lineman though, but it wasn't the Bland pick. A lot of people are like, oh, it was worth it because we got Bland, but no, we took Bland with our actual 5th round, and then the 5th that we acquired. I can't remember exactly who we got.
Matt, well, let's go.
Oh yeah, okay, so there you go. I mean, I guess the jury's still out on that. Maybe that turns into something
Wingspan,
eventually.
Sorry.
Wingspan, well, let's go.
My bad. Matt Willetsko and linebacker Devin Harper.
We can just lie and say it's Deron Bland.
Yeah, I think that's the feel good thing. Like if we're like, oh yeah, we traded a 5th round and we got Deron Bland, it's like, oh yeah, that's sweet.
Oh,
So before we get
right.
into anything, I was searching around the locker room and I found this weird note left by this pig behind me.
Oh. The hell does it say? Meet me. Oh.
Even the Commanders know that AJ likes dong.
Those bastards. I hope. Look,
We got to beat him. We got to beat him for that, AJ.
I hope it happens.
What's on the docket though today, fellas?
Okay, well, on today's show, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride here in December for the Cowboys. And with 2023 now officially behind us, hey, Happy New Year, everyone. The
Happy New Year.
Cowboys,
New Year.
Happy New Year. Their future's in their own hands. The Dallas Cowboys own their own future. when they beat the Detroit Lions at home in what some would say was a controversial win, and we'll get into that, I'm sure. But they also needed those Eagles to start sinking, and they are, and things don't look good in Philadelphia. So I hate to celebrate another team's loss, but in this case,
Celebrate.
This is
those
the
fuckers
exception.
losing.
This is the
This
exception.
is the one team we can celebrate them losing. I hope they lose to the Giants also. Let's go.
Four losses in 5 games. So kind of not the trend that you want to be going on. But this puts the 2nd seed in the Cowboys' hands. But they have to travel to Washington. They have to beat the Commanders on the Commanders' soil. And, they have a risk of tumbling themselves if there's a loss. I'm a little anxious, a little excited as well, though. But you look, the Cowboys, they have to avoid coming out flat-footed there. We'll also do the NFL Power Rankings, final week of the season, score prediction, bold predictions, and a whole bunch of crackums. Boosh, baby.
Boosh, baby.
Boosh, baby. Boosh, boosh, boosh-a-loosh. I like it. Guys, okay, first things first. How shitty is it that it's week 18 already? That NFL season came and gone. Like, it's bittersweet. I'm glad, obviously, that we're going to be in the postseason. I'm glad that there's all this hope that we have a very good chance of having a nice pathway to the Super Bowl. Don't want to say that out loud, but it is bittersweet. Like, it's depressing to me when it's week 18. I'm that guy that week 4, I'm like, man, 25% of the season's already done.
Well, yeah.
So it's a bit bittersweet.
Well,
but,
after when
I'm excited.
When it was week 2, you're like, man, I can't believe it's already week 2. So, well, I mean, if we optimistically, we got 6 more games. Did I math it correctly there?
No,
we got 5 more games.
5.
Well, and
unless you want to put
some of our Pro
Unless
Bowlers.
you're counting the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, some of
the
our
Pro
Pro
Bowl, I
Bowlers,
guess.
baby. Okay, so 6 games for some of those Pro Bowlers, right?
But if we're playing in the Super Bowl, you don't play in the Pro Bowl. So
yeah, so shit.
It's 5.
Regardless, it's 5 games left. They
don't actually play in the Pro Bowl anymore.
No.
It's like these mini games.
How shitty is that? How totally going a little bit off the
Yeah.
beaten path here, though. But fuck the Pro Bowl. Like, it's not even worth watching. It's just flag now, isn't it?
It used to
just a
mean
flag
something.
game.
It used to mean something, being like, oh, he's an 8-time Pro Bowler. Then you go to Hawaii. Once it stopped going to Hawaii, it just went down the drain.
Well,
Yeah,
possibly
that's tough.
with flag football becoming an actual Olympic sport, maybe over the next couple of years, you're going to see them starting to take the Pro Bowl flag game very, very serious. Maybe the competitiveness comes out a bit more. I don't know. I mean, but flag football ain't going anywhere. It's continued on the rise in America.
We see NFL owners do what I like to call the totalitarian tiptoe, which I don't even know if I said that right. But what I mean to say is totalitarian tiptoe. There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
There you go. Now you got it.
But what they're trying to do is slowly inch to protect players from any sort of non-football game related playing. So that's why we've seen such a difference over the last 10, maybe 15 years, where players used to actually hit, and there are still some hits in the All-Star game. But there used to be some really big hits.
Sean Taylor killing the punter.
Sean Taylor, that comes to mind, right? But the owners, the coaches, they don't want to see that, so they're doing everything they can to slow. So I wouldn't be surprised if flag football does do well, that they might just change the whole. It might be too much, but the NFL's not really stuck in the tradition for the All-Star game, so they might test just doing a massive flag football because they're still playing the game, right?
Yeah.
So before we go to the next subject, the Pro Bowl list did come out, and I know we didn't have it earlier on our show list because we planned the show prior to it dropping, but an hour ago it came out the 7 players that were selected from the Cowboys for the Pro Bowl. We have Zach Martin, 9 selections, Micah Parsons, 3rd selection, Dak Prescott, 3rd selection, CeeDee Lamb, 3rd selection, Brian Anger, 2nd selection, Brandon Automatic Aubrey,
Randy
first selection,
Letter Aubrey,
and Duron Not So Bland, 1st selection. So those are our 7 Pro Bowl selections. And before we get into anything, do you guys think anyone got snubbed after I read that list?
Tyler Smith.
Kevontae Turpin.
Turpin.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I think he could have been on there though.
He was
for me-
last year.
He was last year. I think a big one for me, and I know he doesn't have the sack numbers, but he's such an important part of the defense, and I still think he plays his position good enough to be in the Pro Bowl. Is DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's an absolute beast, but he doesn't have the sack numbers, so I don't think he gets the votes.
And Zach Martin had just a quietly really good season, didn't he?
Yeah, he'll always be on that.
always be on
Tyler
there.
Smith not on there is kind of weird to me. I mean, Tyron Smith even had an argument, but
Bocce
seven
saying,
on the seven's a lot. Seven on a team is quite a bit.
Bocce saying, what about Dono Dub?
No, he didn't play.
He had a rough season to start. He started off rough.
Hey, he's hopefully going to finish. I think DeMarcus Lawrence, but here's the thing about it. It's not surprising. It's not surprising, but he's a different type of defensive end that's not going to get those big stats in terms of sacks. So he'll never be considered for this. I'd like to see I don't know, maybe you go back to edge or defensive end pass rush. And, there's a spot on this list for DeMarcus Lawrence in his ability to stop the run, but not up against the three guys that they have listed here, obviously.
Yeah, what do they have? They have Bosa, Micah. I guess Micah's not even there for defensive end. Who do they have for defensive ends?
Bosa, Sweat, and Hutchinson.
Yeah, that's a
dirty
tough
player.
list. That's a duff.
That dirty bastard.
That dirty tripper that we're going to
That
get into.
tripping son of a bitch!
Hey, we'll get there.
Which we'll
get there.
Hutchinson didn't really have that great of a year. Had a great game against the Cowboys, but not against not for the hey, nothing spilled. All good.
Phantom spill, just like that phantom leg sweep.
So
okay.
Yeah, good. I mean, that's the only surprising thing. Nice to see CD in that top slot.
That top slot CD.
And let's be honest, all pros where it matters. Pro Bowls, whatever. Yeah. It's that first team all pro that really actually matters. And that'll be interesting to see which Cowboys make.
Yeah. Okay, rapid recap. Let's talk a little bit about this past week, kicking it off. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, Detroit at the Detroit versus Cowboys game at home. Who did we see get inducted into the Ring of Honor?
Wait, you said that a little confused.
I know. I totally screwed up.
Screwed up. I was like, take out about 15 words and redo.
Okay, guys. November 30th. Guys,
1986.
Cowboys versus the Lions at home, AT&T Stadium. It's this thing that's been a cloud that's been over top of the Cowboys for the last 28, 29 years. The Jimmy Johnson curse.
Yep.
Has it been lifted? I think so.
Hey.
But Jimmy Johnson inducted into the Ring of Honor. What do we think? Tony Romo, why don't you?
As we were watching it, I was eating a great sandwich.
That you'll always remember that sandwich that you had to add extra mustard. You had to add extra mustard in my fridge for that sandwich. But what do you think about that, TJR? And do you subscribe to the curse?
You're right. So about the curse, right? We've always been on the bad side of getting calls. Like, we are always screwed. It is just Cowboys life. That is exactly what we go through every single year. How is it on that same night that Jimmy Johnson goes in, we get a miraculous call, to end the game? And when they threw the flag, it wasn't immediate. It was like they let it play out. And then 10, 15 seconds later, you finally see why are they having a conversation? And then you realize it's illegal touching. So I think there is some validity to the fact that the curse has been broken. I would agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you think that was the exorcism right there, right then and there?
Well,
good fortune.
That happened. And then on the same day, we had the controversial Cowboys Lions ending, and then Eagles go down to the Cardinals. So, I mean, I feel a little bit like something's been lifted. Cowboys are potentially getting that home playoff run that we want.
That second seed, baby.
Because when do they get that? They never get the good breaks.
Yeah.
Never. And it's funny online. I've been in online all week battling people, idiots out like I do. Everyone's, Cowboys have the refs on the payroll, which is the stupidest argument on the planet because they've been the most penalized team in the last 2 years. It's like we finally get one call our way, and it's been proved, and I'm sure we'll go into that. It was proved to be the right call. Detroit's came out and actually said, hey, we got too cute. that was on us. They were trying to be sneaky and it bit them in the ass. But before we get into any of that, I'm just jealous for people that were at that game. Not only did they get the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor, they got the CeeDee Lamb record day, right? Like that was just such a good game. We were lucky enough to witness the Deron Bland interception touchdown record in person, and I think that game on Sunday or Saturday against the Lions is equivalent to that because you had multiple things going on. Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor, CeeDee Lamb absolutely tearing shit up. Like what a game to be at. And then the call at the end of the game. Like what a wild game to whatever someone paid to be there, it was worth the admission.
Just missing Dolly Parton.
God, no.
That's right.
Yeah, no Dolly Parton.
Just standing in the middle of a stage.
No, her essence.
She looked good.
Her essence.
She looked good.
Her essence still lingers in that stadium, I tell you.
So you don't believe the curse? You don't subscribe to the curse mojo that we're talking about there?
I never said. I agreed.
You did agree. Okay,
I said. Look, I mean, I honestly never believe in any superstitions. Like, I don't believe that we have an effect on the game, but I still participate because I don't want to start believing in them. So, like, when we choose to wear jerseys, I really don't care. But then I start thinking, well, if I don't, and then we lose, now I'm in something here, so I'm just gonna go with it.
I know.
I can't wait to blame the next loss on you for not believing.
I know. Well, that's the thing is like you just set yourself up. So I'll play along, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think you're right. The right word for it, TGR, is whatever you said there.
AJ likes dongs.
Not AJ
Good
likes
mojo.
dongs.
I don't know. I forgot what I said.
It was just good mojo. Not I said exorcism, but not even good luck, good fortune. That's what.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. Good fortune.
Just like the coin flipped, and we called it correctly. 50-50 chance.
50-50 chance.
But, no, that end of the game too. Just to tackle or jump on that tackle. Hutchinson, or sorry, who was it? Hendershot, got called for a tripping penalty, 15 yards, where it wasn't even him doing it. It was Aiden Hutchinson that should have been called for it, or just no call at all. Then you negate that penalty, and suddenly the 2-point probably never has a chance to happen.
Never happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to mention that the Lions had 14,000 tries to get that 2-point. Like I get it. You got this ego. You got this ego, and you want to win, and you want to keep up with the San Francisco 49ers to get that first seed. But the right play call is after that first penalty on that illegal touch, you just kick the ball and you play in overtime.
Yep.
That's the right call. And then they didn't. They went for it, missed it. Micah Parsons has the offside, so then they get it again. They get another try. They essentially had 3 tries because on that Micah Parsons penalty, let's not forget, that's a free play. Like, it wasn't like he went offside, they called it, and they reset. No, they ran a play and didn't get it. So
right.
I don't know. They threw an interception. So it's hard for me to take the bitching from Lions fans or the NFL community seriously, and I don't care about it because, like TGR said, the Cowboys have been boned in so many different ways over the years that I just think it's more funny. I don't care how you get a win. I don't care if it's a ref's fault. I don't care if it was something greasy. I just don't give a shit. We won the game and we have a chance to be the second seed this week, and it's awesome.
Are you concerned at all with how the offense on the Lions kind of tore our defense apart on that last drive?
Oh wait,
no. Are you though? You're concerned about that? But this is the thing. Coaches change this. What I'm more concerned than the defense is why change what you were doing the whole game to play some sort of weird prevent. They were doing is they were blocking the sidelines and they were just giving the middle of the field open, which they totally changed their whole defense. Being scared, I'm more worried about the prevent defense than I am as a defense as a whole.
But TGR,
I'll be honest. The way that Lions game went down, I was not a fan of it. I think the Cowboys could have really had a good, strong hold on the game earlier in the game if CeeDee Lamb just learns how to keep 2 hands on the ball, And I guess we could talk about that too, because I don't think it's a bad rule, the ball going out of the end zone. I think there rightfully needs to be a consequence for the ball going out It's brutal, but I think it's fair. But I think I don't know. I was a little bit concerned with the way that game ended because the Cowboys were so close to going on a 3-game losing streak. And I think I'm really concerned with the offense because in the past 3 weeks, they have failed to score over 20 points. So my take for this week is it's very exciting. The news of potentially getting the NFC East, potentially clinching the number 2 seed, Jimmy Johnson being inducted. It's very happy vibes, but it almost covers some of the issues that happen on Saturday as well as the past few weeks. And that's just me being unbiased and realistic. Like there are some issues with this team, and I still think this offense is still in a funk. That offensive line didn't play really well consistently throughout the game. The running game is still stuttering, and it seems that CeeDee Lamb is the only form of offense for this team. I mean, he went off though, but like no one else did. You know what I mean? So
and Dak though, right?
I'll counter that though a little bit with what team doesn't really have that right now going in. You have the Rams, a postseason team. They barely beat the Giants. You have the Eagles. They've won 4 or they've lost 4 of the last 5. The Miami Dolphins, they have a close one against the Cowboys, then play the Ravens and get smoked, right? I just feel like you could say that about any NFL team right now. And the thing that doesn't make me that nervous is the last 3 opponents that we've played have been good teams. Whereas last year we played against the Titans and the Colts in the last month of the year and had tough games against them, right? At least we're having tough games against tough teams that are going to be in the postseason, teams that are going to possibly make deep runs in the postseason, right? The Detroit Lions, they're the 3rd seed. The Miami Dolphins and the Bills are battling for whatever they end up being in. So at least the competition is there. And yeah, we've had blunders, but I'd rather have blunders and learn from them against teams that are going to be in the postseason than against, like last season, we lost to Washington going into the postseason, right? So at least we're getting battle tested. And yeah, there were some fuck ups, there were some coaching fuck ups, but I have a very hard time as a fan because 10 years ago we had multiple 8-8 seasons in a row, right? So for us to be on the verge of our 3rd 12-5 season, a 2nd seed, it's just, and I get it. There's negatives, but for me as a fan, and I mean, it's just purely as a fan standpoint, I'm excited for this opportunity, and the path to the Super Bowl looks the easiest it's been in the last 15 years. So there's always going to be shitty stuffs in a football game. But if we secure the 2nd seed this week, I feel like as a fan, everyone should be pretty happy.
What do you think, AJ?
Well, that is true. I'm not going to argue with the fan side of it, but I do like diving into the game itself, just looking at it in a vacuum and not as what the result was. Because the result, you're absolutely right. We can't really complain. Cowboys won the game, whether you win by 30 or 1 point, literally, you get the same result. We had all those other good things happen, but just in the game itself, I think there is that most of the game was played fairly well, but I was actually listening to EJ Savage's podcast earlier today and he had Bryce and Carver on from the Carving It Up podcast, and they were both discussing how like the last, say, 4 plays, the last 2 defensive series, and the last 2 offensive series caused some concern, but otherwise, which I think is where you definitely don't want to have concern being caused. It's better to have that, say, at the beginning of the game than at the end of the game. But yeah, I think that's a fair thought, TGR, and I don't know if there's anything more to say on that, but
I was just gonna kind of tag in on the comments. I was just curious to hear what you guys thought, because if we look at the Dolphins game and then we look at the Lions game, and this is where you kind of Anth was already talking about, like, we're playing against good teams. A lot of people gave Dolphins the same type of Cowboys treatment all season long. They can't beat good teams. They're only winning against sub 500 teams, but they're still they were and still are, I believe, the highest scoring offensive team in the NFL. And then the Cowboys were 2nd. Well, the Cowboys held them to 20 points. However, same situation as the Dolphins game and the Lions game. The Cowboys defense allowed the offense team to go 60 yards or 70 yards. I think Goff went like 70 yards, and then Dolphins, they went like 60. But they had some tremendous last kind of 2-minute drills, which all teams practice. And to me, yeah, you're expecting a good team like that to go down the field and do that job. And then I guess where I'm sitting is like, does the defense have enough to now make those adjustments going into the playoffs based on what they've seen those last two teams do to them in those clutch moments? Because the Lions game could have very well went like the Dolphins game, where we would have lost by a point versus winning by a point. But again, yeah, a win's a win, so fuck it, right?
I think at this point of the season, what you see from your team are really just trends at that point. Like, it's their identity, in my opinion. And we could be hopeful and be like, okay, we played some good teams, some competitive teams, playoff teams,
Playoffs.
and we can learn from that. Or is it, at the end of the day, like, is this just this team and we're going to have to just depend on Dak throwing it out and hoping that Dak gets the ball to end the game rather than relying on our defense to close out the game? So,
Well, actually, okay. So then
it's unrealistic to expect to win by multiple touchdowns every game or not being in close games. Like, there's going to be fuck ups, there's going to be fumbles, there's going to be bad coaching decisions. Every NFL team has this. It's just part of it. It's when you do have Dak, who's going to have to elevate the team. Without Dak, this team's probably not even a 500 team, as sad as it is to say.
Whoa.
But I think that's how I feel. Without Dak Prescott, if we had Cooper Rush playing, I'm surprised last year Cooper Rush had the record he did, to be honest. I was almost had to call a self-help line after he broke his thumb. But I just think it's unrealistic to expect them to always win by 40-20, or I don't know. I get you. There is problems. There was problems, but I've watched seasons where it's been an actual shitty team. This is not a shitty football team. This isn't a shitty football team.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I agree with you. I'm there with you. Like, when I became a Cowboys fan, I mean, I was born into it, but when I really started watching, like, my quarterback was Quincy Carter. Like, I was just all in on, like, Drew Henson, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe. Like, those were my quarterbacks. So I get it. But I think we're allowed to be a little bit critical because, and this is what I've been referring to it with my community, is we're kind of in a trilogy. Like, if you look at this team, and like you said, this is going to be the third straight season, and I'll just call it as it is. It's going to be the third straight season that we're going to be 12-5. And I think as a fan and someone who tunes into this game, like, yes, you can enjoy the ride and the fact that we're winning, and that is definitely something we've wanted for the longest time. Because there was times when Romo took us to the playoffs, and then, he broke his back, and we would go 4-12. And it just was no consistency in terms of winning in the organization. And we have that now, which is great, and I am loving it, believe me. But I think in terms of this third season, like, there are some things and there's some small details that the Cowboys need to achieve to take that next step. And I think that's where my frustration comes most of the time, is like, I know they can do it. And if this was the first season or the second season of this, of Mike McCarthy and this winning streak that he's been on with 12 plus wins each season, I would be like, let's enjoy the ride. Let's see what happens. But at this point, something has to click. Like, we got to see them achieve. And granted, they are. Look, they are. They're about to get their 12th win of the season. But there are some things that I would have loved to see in this 3 weeks where they went 1-2 that I think would have put me more at ease going into the postseason. Even though, like you said, the route to the playoffs is probably the easiest that it's ever been in past seasons.
I guess, yeah. And you know what? When you guys were talking about Dak, I feel like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb are our most consistent players on the Cowboys. I mean, Dak is that consistency that we were maybe lacking on our offense the past 12-5 seasons. Defense seems to be a little bit inconsistent at times, but yeah, hey, it's all of this is great going into the playoffs because it gives us time to adjust it for the playoffs.
Playoffs. I do. There was a mention of CeeDee Lamb and Dak's I guess CeeDee Lamb being, 55+% of this offense, right? I just wonder, like, obviously we haven't seen Cook or Gallup really show up. Ferguson definitely has shined those guys. But is it such a bad thing that Dak and CD are so connected right now, and that CD is eating up, 50% of or more of his yards each game? I know there's negatives to it, but I'm just thinking like that's kind of a positive to know that we have this guy, and he's proven throughout the season that it really doesn't matter who he's up against; he can still get open. He's not had every game hasn't been a 5-star game, but predominantly he's gone up against some of the above average CBs in this league and performed well.
Always open. CeeDee Lamb.
And the Dolphins game probably would have been different if they didn't go away from him for 2.5 quarters.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
Like if it's working, use it. And I honestly, because it is worrisome that if they do game plan for CeeDee Lamb, that what do you do? Because you saw that in the Dolphins game, we didn't have much offense when they did that. But you got to then just go to him anyways. And as shitty as it is, it's what's worked for us. Every game that we've had CD getting X amount of catches, the Cowboys have been good. And it maybe he is covered sometimes, but until they take the ball away or they've proved that they can stop it, I'm on the verge that if CeeDee Lamb is one-on-one, you throw it to him no matter what at this point. The guys showed this year that at this point, if he's one-on-one, you go to him.
Go ahead, TJ.
Give him 75% of fucking yards.
Hey, I agree. I mean, it goes both ways. Like, would I love to see the ball be spread around? Yes. And have we seen that this year? Yeah, we have actually. But if CeeDee Lamb is incredible right now. Like, he is just borderline unstoppable. And you see it in the middle of the games. Like, they're still just covering him one-on-one, which is ridiculous. I don't know why some defenses are still doing that. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
Well, actually, if we look at it, look who's not had his last 2 games have been a struggle. Was Jake Ferguson. Crack him if you got him. See that?
Crack him if you got him.
I'm like Dak. He's like CD. We're just in sync right now. Okay.
But white and unathletic.
White, unathletic, and Canadian.
Exactly like Dak and CD.
But besides that, exactly like Dak and CD.
But if we look at the offense, like you're talking about, like, Dak Prescott, we need to see him spread the ball out, and he has tried, but the other weapons on the team have not necessarily been there. Dak's been throwing some dots outside of a lot of those Brandon Cooks throws that have been an overthrow or a sail. I don't know what's going on with a couple. They've tried it deep a few times. They've hit once or twice this season, but like, he is trying to have other options when Sedarius is covered. But yeah, like, I mean, if Jake Ferguson's not been having great games the last 2, and I think if CeeDee Lamb is getting marked out of the game, then those players need to step up, and that's what's going to allow us to have that winning team, that winning drive.
Well, what do you guys think about Brandon Cooks' catch on the sideline and then his touchdown?
Well,
Cooks hasn't really had the numbers to back it up, but he's had touchdowns, and they've been in key moments, right? Like, I feel like Cooks has came. I know the plays you're talking about, Ad, because they're so close to hitting those deep ones up the middle, but Cooks has had a couple nice touchdowns. It's just his numbers don't jump out at you. They really don't.
But before anybody else answers, I have to interrupt you with a Bot G super chat of $10. If Lions fans can buy a billboard ad to say Decker reported, the least I can do is buy a super chat that says Lions fans, go fuck yourselves. That's our boy, Bot G Eric, boots on the ground.
That's a GOAT super chat right there.
That is a GOAT super chat.
Boots on the ground.
Can I say one thing too? After I went at TGR about we should all be happy about 12-5. I've said this from the start. I've said this from the start of the season. It's NFC Championship or bust. Anything less than that is an absolute failure for this team. If they don't make the NFC Championship, I'm not dealing with the wild card loss. I'm not dealing with the divisional round loss. It's NFC Championship or bust. If they don't make it to the NFC Championship game this year, shit does need to change. I will say that because, yes, you're right. In year 3, there's been tendencies shown. And if one of those tendencies ends up ending the season earlier than it should be, then yeah, they need to be held accountable. I'll go with that.
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen is we're going to play the Rams in the first round, and the Rams just recently brought back Brett Maher, and Brett Maher is going to hit a 64-yard field goal to beat the Cowboys.
Shut your face. Shut your face. Is this Ultra Cowboy? Do we have Ultra Cowboy?
Yeah, TGR. Like the when we played the Bills, like I remember just before watching the Bills game, I saw one of your posts, and I just said to myself, "Fuck, Kyle! Like, why would you put such a damper on my morning? Like, I was all pumped up for the Bills game, and then fucking there's TGR being a realistic Cowboys fan, and he fucking just shits on the boys. You basically took your pants down and took a big dump on the star with your, and that's why we lost, and that's why I'm very superstitious like that. TGR.
Brett Maher, the guy that missed 5-point after attempts in a playoff game. I am worried about that dude.
Just watch. It's going to go the other way. And you know it deep down in your soul. You know it that he'll miss extra points for us, but he'll go like 6 for 6 if we play him in the playoffs.
TGR.
I ain't scared. I ain't scared. At home, I ain't scared, man.
TGR.
I ain't scared.
Jimmy Johnson curse has been lifted. That ain't going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just get my tickets to Las Vegas.
Hey,
Buy them.
Adam, I don't know if there's stuff in chat, and then I got some fun
lots
facts
of stuff in chat.
that will segue us into week 18.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else anyone wants to hit, I think we ran the gambit on that.
Okay, let me just give you guys.
that
Let
game.
me just give look. Chat's been on fire out here. I've been trying to put as many posts up. When we get guests on, we try to give as much time to our guests, even though he likes to shit on the Cowboys
Well, that's
sometimes.
why we have these chat breaks so we can get to the chat.
So now I'm so messed up. So everyone loved Bot G's super chat. Divine Gun says, "I like Cooks. Gallup has been very disappointing. It was nice to see on the sounds of the sideline though, where CeeDee Lamb was hugging Gallup at the end and said, 'I couldn't do it without you.' So nice to see some love from your wide receiver one. Gallup, in my opinion, is like the wide receiver 5, 6, 7.
Well, maybe like I don't think Gallup's contract's worth it, but maybe Gallup is doing more out there than catching footballs and.
Yep.
I'm
maybe he's super funny on the sideline telling jokes or something.
No,
we don't know that.
He's not the threat that he used to be at all, but perhaps just having him out there as a threat, I don't my eyes are not that good enough to see, but
Alex559 says, "I feel like Ferg gets more double coverage, honestly. Every time he gets ball thrown, there's always multiple defenders on him." He ain't wrong. I mean,
Ferg had a couple really nice well, they were misses, but he was streaking up the middle, and Dak just kind of threw it up to him. And I think one went off his hands. It was contested, though, and one was just a missed pass. But
one was he had it, and it got, like, hit out by the defender.
Oh, yeah, right, punched out or whatever. But, like, I like that play.
Yeah.
I like sending him up the middle and then just dropping it up over top of whoever's covering him. He's shown he's got the athletics to get there. He just has not yet.
And on the offense, like, he has that kind of fight in him, like that dog in him. So, like, I do like his intensity when you see Fergie come up and he's, like, getting in people's face. So, I do like his attitude. Llama Gamer says Brandon Aubrey is going to hit Brett Maher with a rock bottom like that. And then Llama also says Gallup is massaging CeeDee Lamb's back for carrying the offense.
Hey, we'll take that. I would love to be able to put in some sort of virtual reality kickers versus kickers in like a boxing match just to see who the toughest kicker was. Guaranteed it's not Aubrey. I guarantee he's not the toughest kicker. No one growing up playing soccer is the toughest kicker. Best kicker, just not the toughest.
What about Anger? You think Anger's out there as the frickin'
Oh,
guy?
Anger's the punter. He's headbutting motherfuckers. Guaranteed Anger's knocking guys out with headbutt.
And then last comment in here, it's a question and just some quick, just a quick flash answer from all of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Felice Marivali from Hawaii says, "Hey guys," I think he's from Hawaii. He said Hawaii earlier on. Maybe I was just thinking about the Pro Bowl, but hey guys, should Dak use his legs in the game against the Commanders? And I'll answer first, and I say yes, I do think he should use his games, because when we were comparing Dak and Lamar Jackson, Dak has 55 rushing attempts for I think it was like 250 yards, and then Lamar Jackson has like 148 attempts for 742 yards. It's like, well, Dak could basically be right on pace with Lamar Jackson. Like Dak is that mobile.
You don't want Dak running the ball.
I don't want.
Times
Gosh,
a year,
no. I just when Dak moves on
I was gonna say, are you insane?
On third down, I was just saying on third down though, Dak starts to move. He makes plays. That's why Dak's one of the best. Third down.
Well, they've proven that his third down, when he's scrambling with his legs on third down, he is the best quarterback in the league. So, I mean, I think he's doing it just enough.
Yeah.
I think he uses his legs. I just think he uses them in a different way than running the football. he's extending the play. And Dak's at the point in his career that when he runs out, you think of this. I guarantee Dak in 2016 to 2019, that 92-yard touchdown doesn't happen. He just runs. He just tries to pick up some yards on his feet.
Right.
His main thing is looking downfield. So when we ask, should he use his legs? I think he's using his legs perfectly. Extend the play, look downfield. If it's not there, get rid of it. And especially in week 18, yes, I want this 2 seed bad, but I also want to have a healthy quarterback going into the postseason.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to add on to, I mean, I think I answered and then Anth answered, so I don't want to cut you guys off. But also, how fucking great was that play, Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb for that 92-yard touchdown? Dak scrambling out of the frickin' end zone and just throws that dime, that dot to CeeDee Lamb. Probably would you say that's the one of the, like, out of all of the Cowboys plays, favorite play of the year so far? Yes, no.
That's probably a highlight. I think Deron Bland's record-setting pick 6 was really great too, because he had to fight for that.
Yep.
So those two are up there for me. But recency biased, I'll give it to the 92-yard touchdown.
What gave you the biggest head rush, the most screaming, and the most jumping?
92 yards.
92 yards.
I almost had a pass out because I was so like, you know that meme with the guy who's like in school and he's just like, and his like veins are popping. I wasn't breathing and I was like doing that. Go!
I think the Deron Bland was still pretty insane.
Yeah, I think
that one got me out of my seat, because usually I'm watching, sitting watching in the games, but that one got me like go, and then freaking insane. But yes, the 92-yarder is way up there. That was amazing. Dak breaking the tackle. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about the 92-yarder, I believe it's Dak's longest touchdown pass he's ever thrown. 88 plus 4. 92.
Whoa.
Perfect.
Someone's
Whoa.
ready.
92, son. That's how she goes.
See, and there's some more of that mojo going on Jimmy Johnson night.
Good fortune.
Good fortune.
Hey, good fortune. I like good fortune.
Good fortune is
good fortune.
Hey guys, I got some fun facts I shared in the chat. I just want to roll through these with you, and we can just comment as we are. I'll go kind of player by player or section by section, and you let me know what you think, and then I will tell you if you're wrong or right. No, just kidding.
Right.
Okay, so going into week 18, Dak Prescott needs 263 passing yards to reach 4,500. 3 passing touchdowns to reach 35, and 1 or less interception to be under 10. So let's say, looking at a 4,500 yard season, 35 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. What do you think? Anyone? No one wants to say. No one wants. Everyone's pissed off. Like, it's not his best season, but in terms of like just a quarterback season, are you happy with those numbers?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
After his numbers from last year, everyone was calling him a turnover machine. I knew it. I was like, no, that's not who he is. He had a weird season after having a broken thumb. 2023, he's going to come back and he's going to get right back on track. You look at his stats right now, that's kind of how his touchdown to interception ratio has been his whole NFL career, right? So to me, it's right on par with him. And I fully believe it wasn't even his best season. The ceiling's higher because the first 6 games, he was kind of just, figuring it out. Maybe figuring out Mike McCarthy's offense, but how he's rolling now, I love how he's playing. And it's not his best stats, but how he's playing right now, he's playing unreal. So
the other kind of one that is a little more difficult though is Dak needs 5 touchdowns to tie and 6 to beat his season touchdown record that he set in 2021. Not very probable. Tying is more probable, but 35 touchdowns. Hey, I think that's a good milestone. And final Dak Prescott one here. It's kind of leaking into next season, potentially 2 seasons, but he's 5,003 yards away from the all-time passing record for the Dallas Cowboys in terms of.
You think he could hit it this week?
I think next season, if he has a good week, next season he has a good chance of hitting it, but otherwise it's 2 seasons away. Okay, Tony Pollard. A lot of shade being thrown at this guy, but let's just look at these stats and you tell me what you think. 65 yards away from reaching 1,000 yards on the season, and he's only 70 yards away from reaching 1,300 all-purpose yards, passing and rushing.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, he gets to 65. That's actually part of my offensive predictions that'll be
Ooh.
coming out this weekend. I think he gets over 65. I think we're due for a really good TP20 run game.
Yeah, and I also saw
Be
this.
nice to see.
Duffy had some posts out about his last, I think 4 weeks here. He's second basically in yards after contact, and I think last game, something like 40 out of his 45 yards, a high percentage of his yards were after contact. So he's still running really, really well. He's just getting touched.
Dinged around. I might be on the one side, I know I'm on the very low side of Cowboys fans that haven't hated his season. I just think he's missing that set. I don't think he's a 1A guy. He needs that other guy.
Yeah.
They need to be giving Rico. I think Rico Dowdle and him need to be splitting snaps. But I don't
Dalvin
think
Cook.
Tony Paul.
Dalvin Cook.
Yes, good call. Get Dalvin Cook in here. Get him time to be red prime. Give him a week. Get into the offense. But I agree. They should have went out and got Dalvin Cook in the offseason. And as good as Rico Dowdle's been, I just think they've kind of missed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, if it's play calling or the offensive line. Last week, to me, it was Tony Pollard's biggest issue was every time he got the ball, he was 3 yards deep and he had 2 guys on him, right? So you can't blame a running back too much for that. We just came to expect so much from TP20. In prior seasons, he's breaking off these 30, 40-yard touchdowns. He's getting these 20-yard gains all the time. So everyone was expecting like a 1,500, 1,600-yard rushing season. But I think for a running back to hit 1,000 in today's NFL, where it's multiple backs, is still a pretty substantial mark.
And tack on his 300 passing yards too. Receiving yards, sorry.
Yeah, his all.
Which they don't use him enough in the passing.
No.
game.
Yeah.
That was
I
one of
agree.
his best attributes. Was
Well,
pass catcher.
The most outside of that surprised me. I wasn't expecting him to be close to 1,000 yards to coming towards the end of the season.
Right.
Because everybody told you he sucks.
Yeah,
he should only have like 400 yards.
I listened to the mass. I'm the people's champ, but Gus in chat is bringing up a great point. He has been pretty key on a lot of our blocking. Like he's been great on pass blocking. Like we thought that was going to be his biggest struggle, but he's done a fairly good job in pass protection.
Did the pig eat F? He's gone.
Oh gosh, look at that pig! That pig sitting there. Hey, well, they'll take a crack him if you got him break.
Crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him.
That is true. There was a concern because of how good Zeke Elliott was at blocking that we were going to see a kind of that open up a little bit more for defenders. But he's done very good in his pass blocking and has made some key blocks. So
well, let's camp on Dalvin Cook for just a quick second. So we all just said, yeah, get Dalvin Cook out. Dalvin Cook. Forever DC in chat saying Dalvin Cook is a ghost now. He has no more mojo left. His whole season he's played terrible. Different offense. He went over to the Jets. You have Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator. You got Breece Hall there. We can't. I'm not going to judge Dalvin Cook.
Is he motivated to play?
Yeah, I mean you got
one of the worst
had-
offensive line. One of the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah.
Didn't he have 1,000 yards last season in Minnesota?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
He's not washed. He's got some.
He's
He's
28.
got some tread. Yeah.
So I think I mean, what do we have to lose to bring him on? Like nothing. Like that seeing all these pickups and adjustments, that's what I want to see moving into the playoffs. Like address our concerns. Dalvin Cook's been released. Pick him up.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook only had one game with over 10 carries, and that was week 1 versus the Bills. Every other game, he averaged around about 4 to 5 carries a game.
Yeah.
No running back is going to get into any type of rhythm or produce anything with 4 to 5 carries behind the Jets' offensive line, whom the majority of the time was behind in passing, right? So I don't know if we can completely take his Jets tape and just say, well, that's what he's done. If you can get him in there for a cheap enough deal for not even a 1-year rental, like a hopefully a 5-game rental, why the hell not?
Yeah, you don't have to play him.
No, you just worst case you sign him and you don't use him, and then you cut him in the offseason.
Yeah. I mean, you essentially do what you did with T.Y. Hilton.
Yep.
Last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good call.
Well, and Ty,
that was awesome.
yeah,
Ty was a great.
You're
pickup
looking
at the
for
end of the
one
year.
play. Ty had one big play,
Exactly.
and that's what you are signing him for Cook to either, or Cook comes in and is a nice goal line threat.
Nice little spark plug.
Yeah.
Yep.
CeeDee Lamb is 66 yards behind Tyreek Hill going into week 18 for top yards in the NFL. So there is a chance if Hill kind of takes it easy as he's been doing. But CD is also 10 receptions ahead of Hill, which I think he will, finishes with the most receptions in the league.
I get excited about that, minus hearing Anth echoing off saying, yeah, well, Tyreek Hill sat out a game and CD's played more. So
I'll never say that. I will never say that. I don't care if he has more games. You finish with the most yards. Maybe
Yep.
Tyreek Hill ankles shouldn't be
Part
built
of
like little bitches.
Part of the
I don't care. CD, get it, CD.
No, agreed. Part of the game of football or any sport is also toughness, and you can't play
Attrition, baby.
Yeah, you can't be like, yeah, but this guy only played 4 games of 17, and if you would have averaged him out, he would have had 2,025 yards receiving. It's like, yes, but you got to be able to stay in the game and play tough. Maybe some of the reason that you get those yards, and I'm not saying Tyreek Hill isn't tough, by the way. Ankle.
You said it.
Anth
said it.
Yeah,
We all heard it.
ankle injuries are something that can just fucking happen on your own, like, movement. Look at how fast that guy moves out there, right? But I think there is something to be said about, like, being able to stay in football games. Or
well, just think if CeeDee Lamb had his production on those earlier games where he was like 50 yards, like 4 games where he was like 50 yards.
The first 6 games, man.
So
the first 6 games. That next year, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott's ceiling, to me, like this year, my ceiling for CeeDee Lamb was like 1,450 yards, 10 touchdowns, and like 110 receptions, and he's just absolutely blown those out of the water. And those were stats that I would have been super happy with, and he completely went past that. So, and with, like you said, at 6 games where they weren't utilizing him. So my next year, my ceiling for those guys is maybe 2,000 yards. I don't know.
That's if we re-sign CeeDee Lamb.
He is getting
fuck
paid.
you, Kyle. Kyle,
CeeDee
fuck
Lamb
you.
is getting paid.
Is there enough pie to go around, guys?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
There's no way
This
we're not.
pie, this pie that you make, everyone thinks is a real thing. Teams can make ways to sign their players. If they're not signing a guy, it's because they don't want to sign the person. They'll find a way to sign CeeDee Lamb.
If you're prioritizing those 3 contracts, and we're talking about Dak, Micah, and CD, CD's at the bottom. Dak's number 1 because you got to get that out of the way to get to Micah. And then Micah obviously is the highest priority there. And then CD, I mean,
88. There's no way 88's going anywhere. So Dak Prescott could throw to Kevontae Turpin and Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
There's no
Jalen
way.
Tolbert, Jalen Tolbert, even though Tolbert Tolby has been coming up a little bit.
Hey, I've seen some mock drafts where we go, wide receiver first round. So,
Fuck
I don't mind that. I don't mind it, but it's better be someone who's gonna
CeeDee Lamb coming off breaking Michael Irvin's receptions and yards in a season. We just don't resign him.
Anthony,
I don't want him.
Yeah,
Get him out of my building.
Anthony, you need to clip TGR saying that right away.
Oh, that's getting clipped the day he gets signed. That's going viral.
Kyle,
Write it down.
Hey.
So clipped worthy.
Hey,
Kyle, you actually think we're not going to re-sign CeeDee Lamb?
Oh no.
I know you're just
actually. I don't know.
You're trolling me, aren't you?
I think we've had this conversation before when we talked about like Micah before the season. The Cowboys just don't surprise me. They always make things complicated when it comes to the contract. I know saying out loud that Micah should be a shoo-in for a contract. It sounds the Cowboys are going to make it harder than it actually needs to be. Jerry always does something. Steven always has a stare down or some kind. You know it. We all know it. There's going to be some kind of drama involved.
Mike is going to start for the first
3.
5 games next year because he doesn't have a contract.
No.
Just kidding.
Well, TGR is probably not wrong. I said at the start of the season, if Micah hit 13 sacks, he's going to want to be extended before he plays next year. And CeeDee Lamb, for him to play next year, he's going to need to be extended also. I do think you have to pay both those guys. And then TGR makes a valid point. Dax also needs to be extended. So the good thing with Dax still being on contract and not being on his rookie deal, it's a lot easier for them to pay him and then just kick money around than it is to have these first contract extensions or second deals for a CeeDee Lamb and a Micah Parsons. I think that's where the water gets a little bit murky, because NFL teams now, they allot X amount of dollars no matter what to their quarterback. Dak's going to become, again, the highest paid quarterback, which sucks, because it'd be nice for him to just be like, oh, you know what? I'm cool with 40 again. Just make sure you sign these two guys, but you just don't see that in the NFL. But there's just no way you do not keep Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and they already got Trevon Diggs. Like, you draft to find these superstar players, and they've drafted and found, and the young guys, three superstar players. So you got to do whatever it takes to sign those guys, and then get Will McClay in that draft department going, because you got to find the next three.
You mentioned someone, and I want to say it here on your guys' network because I haven't said it yet. It's just been in my nightmares. But I'm worried about Trevon Diggs. We've seen two players come off of ACL injuries. Well, no, Michael Gallup was off at the ACL injury, and then you guys got to correct me about Tony Pollard. I don't know exactly.
No, Pollard was a broken leg, and then Steele was
Okay, yes. Terrence Steele, that's who I was thinking about. Great players. They got their contracts, but obviously they have injuries. They haven't been the same after their injuries. Look, I love Trevon Diggs. He's my favorite player on the Cowboys, and when he went out, it broke my heart. But I'm worried. And that's all I'll say. I just wanted to say it to someone. That's it.
No, man, we've talked about that prior, because that has been kicked around, because you look at Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele, prior to getting hurt last year, was at least a Pro Bowl player. Michael Gallup, we know what he was like when he was healthy before his injury. And so it is a little bit concerning. They did give all this money to Trevon Diggs. A couple weeks later, he goes down with the ACL. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Some guys come back from it. You get guys like Adrian Peterson who come back better than after their ACL. So it's tough to say. You never know until the player comes back. But it is concerning. Like, I think a bigger concern than it is that he comes back and he's fine and plays exactly how he was before the injury.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when they come back, halfway through the season, it's hard to get back into that rhythm of playing. But all joking aside, I do think they possibly maybe find a way to pay all three of them. I think the odd man that does get left out, though, is Tyler Biadasz.
Oh, that's fair.
Fair enough.
AJ loves Biadasz too.
The thing about the injury with Diggs, though, is he's a lot lighter than Steele. But you're right, Michael Gallup. He's probably.
How do you know? Do you have their weight in front of you? How do you know he's?
I could pull it up if I wanted.
Are you body shaming Steele?
Wow. And it happened at the beginning of the season, so at least Diggs has had the entire season to. TGR's gonna have a conniption over there.
Oh man, you're cracking me up.
But hey, also with Dak's contract, they'll probably restructure it next year anyway, and that could free up the contract money for. And now, of course, you're kicking the can down the road, but that could free up the money at least to be able to sign CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, they'll backload him. Yeah. They'll fucking just give him X amount and just keep pushing it. Hopefully,
we're gonna do him the Cowboys way.
I have
Cowboys franchise tag ready.
I have one more CD stat that kind of goes into the team record here. So in the 16 games, correct me if you got him, in the 16 games, not including the 17th coming up, so this will increase, but CeeDee Lamb has the most targets in a season of 168, and the second highest catch rate, 72.6, behind Jason Witten twice. So Jason Witten has had 73% catch rate twice, and then
that's crazy for a wide receiver one to have that catch rate.
Oh, it is. If you look at
that's insane.
If you look at the other wide receivers, they were 68, 69. But it's not necessarily a massive jump, but it's significant, 3%. That's significant enough to be okay, that's noticeable. So good for you, CD. Defense. What do you think's more probable here, guys? Because if Micah Parsons gets 2 sacks, he'll reach 15. And if Deron Bland gets 2 interceptions, he'll reach 10. So what's the more probable to happen?
Oh, against the freaking Commanders, I feel they're both
And Sam Howell's starting.
Yeah,
He has a league high 19 interceptions.
I feel they're both probable.
Wow.
I actually feel like they're both probable.
Could they both happen?
I think they're both going to happen.
Oh, I like that.
2 sacks from Micah and 2 interceptions from Deron Bland, who's been very quiet since that game.
Yeah, he's had 1 other interception,
Yep.
I believe.
After having
Because
it
he was-
in the Bills game where he got
Yeah,
because he was getting
the
smoked
Seahawks
that
game.
game.
Seahawks
and
game,
then
he
he
was
got
getting
the pick
torched.
6 and it helped him.
But he's been like, and I just mean quiet. He's still been playing good ball. Just he hasn't been that ball hawk. But Sam Howell, he's fucking eating that guy's face for lunch.
I'd say 2 sacks for Mike is more probable because just a better chance every single play he's going to be or 80 90% of his plays he's going to be going after the quarterback, whereas Deron Bland might only get 14 15 looks that game throughout the game. So
I want to piggyback off of this and just talk about our DB room. I love our DB room right now. Like, I feel like it's hard for any quarterback to make a decision on who you're going to throw at because Gilmore is so tactile. Deron Bland is a ball hawk. And man, I love Jordan Lewis. He is balling out this season.
Yeah.
He is playing really strong. So I really love our DB room. And again, only if Diggs was a part of it. Oh my God. But they're playing really well.
I don't even know, man. Like with Diggs there, what would you do? I just don't understand. What would quarterbacks do if Diggs was there? I just don't get it.
Hey.
I don't get it.
but without Diggs going down, and no one wishes this to happen, but Deron Bland would not have become the gem that he is, or we wouldn't have realized it as quickly, let's say. Maybe is the
He ain't making NFL history, that's for sure.
yeah.
He just isn't. There's no chance of that.
But now, and talking about the Diggs injury, because we've seen the potential of our secondary without Diggs, it kind of affords him to not be like all the weight on his shoulder, depending on what happens in the offseason and if we don't have Gilly. Do we have Gilly again for 2? We have Gilly for 2
No,
years.
no, we don't.
Just
He's
one?
a free agent.
So
After this season.
possibly they let Gilly go, and then now we're Bland and Diggs there. But hopefully we get Gilly back, and then you have that kind of a little bit more rest, and you can kind of ease Diggs into that scenario.
But then where does Bland go? Back to slot?
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's up for our.
You trade
team.
him for picks.
TGR. Was that? There was some serious tone in that
There
voice.
is.
there.
I need to get over there and smell that water bottle.
Okay, no.
There's no way
Just
water in
because
that.
TGR said that.
TGR's the ultimate. He's the ultimate troll.
No. I'm gonna tell you this right now. There's a comment from Stephen Keys in the chat, and I wasn't gonna say it because I didn't want to turn the vibes, but that comment initiated me to say this. Stephen Keys says this guy sounds like Ultra Cowboy. TGR sounds like Ultra Cowboy.
Man, that's fighting words right there.
Maybe an alternate version of Ultra Cowboy because it's more like
Alternate?
alternate cowboy.
TGR's takes. I mean, he's obviously joking about that, but his takes have bearing, right? Where Ultra Cowboys takes are just like they pick up a first down. It's like Dan Quinn needs to be fired right now.
Yeah,
Like, they're just so out of left field. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, "We're winning the Super Bowl."
Yep,
So
yep.
I mean. Maybe Ultra Cowboy Light. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think he's Ultra Cowboy.
No. Well, Forever DC saying
He's just a
J-Lu's
troll.
contract's coming up in
He's a troll.
2024. So do we keep J-Lu?
I love jumping in your guys' comment section. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
love just dropping troll comments. It's one of my favorite things to do in my pastime.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, and maybe we'll accept those comments when you can take down the Bandwagon Boys as the returning champions next year in the CanFantasy
gotta
Football
bring it up
League.
again.
Baby, let's go.
That Mickey Mouse championship.
hey, we hope to see you back next year.
Oh yeah, I'll
Okay.
jump back in.
One more quick one, and then someone who definitely deserves praise. The last quick one here: 117 yards for Jake Ferguson to beat Schultz's best season. Additionally, if Jake Ferguson has 8 yards, he's going to crack 700 yards on the year, and if he has 5 catches, he'll get 70
Wow.
catches on the year.
I don't think
So
he's gonna
with
do
that,
it.
with yards, so that's yards. What was, and sorry to throw this at you, AJ, but what was Schultz's biggest touchdown total in a year?
Ooh,
I think did he have double digits ever or close, like 9?
I think he
maybe?
had 10.
I think I think 2021 was his best touchdown season. It seemed like I think he had 3 against the Eagles or something crazy one week in 2021. I'm gonna guess Schultze's 2021. Yeah, it might have been 10.
Best was 8, says Resin in the chat.
8. Okay,
That's it. Okay, I thought he had more than that. And what's Fergalicious at right now?
5.
That's it.
Yeah, just 8. No, Fergie's only got 5 or something like that.
Interesting. I still think Fergie in year 2 has a higher ceiling, and I keep saying ceiling, like higher ceiling. But I think he has a better chance to be better than Schulte was in year 3 and 4, which is good.
Yeah, look, 70 receptions, 700 yards from your tight end, 5. The touchdowns I'd like to see at 8 for sure. But otherwise, it's like those are what I expect from a tight end, I think.
Yep.
Your average tight
Well,
end.
let me ask this. So we knew Ferguson was going to do this. Like we all knew he was going to pick up and take over Schultz. I haven't talked to you guys in a while, in a few months. So answer this for me really quick. Was this draft class a master class or was it a disaster class? Because why did we take a tight end in the second round when we knew Ferguson was going to do this?
Yeah, not a good draft class.
Our draft class has been awful.
Okay.
Well, every
We're all
time
on the same page.
To me, it's been an F.
Yeah,
right now it's an F. It's an F draft right now.
every time we
me.
talk about the draft class, not to-
Overshown aside.
well, and we haven't seen him play.
But I mean,
Yeah,
as today, like you got to give it an
Oh,
F.
sure.
because
Yeah.
the
I'll hopefully change it to a B or to at least a C next year
well,
when hopefully these guys take some strides. But as of today, it's a fucking massive failure.
well, the
Yeah.
Ultra, bringing up his name again, Ultra Cowboy, always every time we talk about any draft pick from this past year, he always says we didn't draft for this season, we draft for next season.
Yeah, but the
So-
difference is when you're a 12-5 team back-to-back seasons and you're trying to get over the hump, you're supposed to draft for
Yeah,
this season,
Totally.
not the season after.
I'm not
You're supposed to
agreeing with
draft.
him. I'm just
No.
I'm just
I'm
but
just
that-
I'm the
hey, when you're-
people's champ.
But that
When
Why
you're
are
the
you
people's
agreeing with
champ,
him?
Yeah.
when you're the people's champ, you're gonna get the brunt of it. When you read their words,
I'm just the
you're gonna get
messenger.
brunt of
I'm
it.
just the messenger. Please don't hit me.
look,
I'm giving it an F though. Like
Yeah.
name one player on that draft class that has done it. There hasn't been anyone.
This is an
Mozzie's
episode.
been
This is a-
Mozzie's been an F. Schoonmaker's been an F. Overshown's injured. Who is
Jun-
Fiocco is our 4th. I
He-
mean,
he's
he
just come
actually
back.
got brought onto the roster for this week. So I mean, I get it. There's a few guys that are unknown.
Deuce Vaughn went to the IR.
yeah.
Deuce Vaughn's on the IR. Like this draft class has not been good.
Automatic Aubrey. So here's some quick stats for our boy Aubrey, okay? Aubrey has been perfect this regular season. It's on the line though, so he's 35 out of 35 currently for his kicks, not his extra points. 35 is the record for most field goals made in Cowboys history. So shout out to Aubrey for
wow.
that. He also holds the record for most kickoffs in Cowboys history, 102 in 16 games. So he's going to add on to that as well. And he's 1 point behind Emmitt Smith for the single season points scoring record. Emmitt Smith has 150 in 16 games, and Aubrey had 149. So technically he's going to be asterisked, but if he gets
Crazy.
one more field goal or 2 extra points, he takes that record as well.
That's
So,
wild.
Aubrey's been. I mean, Aubrey should be on that fucking Pro Bowl list if he's not.
He is. He is.
He is.
Why can't we actually consider Brandon Aubrey for Offensive Rookie of the Year, or at least Rookie of the Year? Because technically he is, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, I like that take.
Like, why
I
aren't we
like
giving
that.
love to kickers?
there's no
Their
negative.
job is so hard to make that, and for him to come out and make that many consecutive kicks, that's not only
rookie?
good or great. That's history. That's
Yeah.
historical.
Yeah.
This is
I like
where
that.
this is where if I had that soundbite, I'd say, "Beat it, nerd! Get out of here."
He's also he's also top 7 in the average yards for kickoff too, which isn't saying much because most guys kick it out of the end zone anyways. But
Yeah, kickoffs have became so lame, man.
all right, well that's those are all those fun facts. I hope they were fun enough.
That was AJ. Good. That's why we call you Stat Boy.
I'm Stat
That
Boy.
boy.
You're Stat
Hey,
Boy.
but what I wanted to do is like, there was obviously the big record that was made last week, or double record there with CD Lamb. But I always was like, okay, there's probably some more shit we can dig up. So, and there was. But now, boys, we got to roll to our Week 18 power rankings. Or unless you want to hit up chat first.
Well, so Forever DC. Okay, so for I'll just rip off a couple of things here. Forever DC said this year's draft is loaded with great tackles. I'd like to hear that. Let's get some of those good tackies.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks too.
Llama Gamer said, dude, fuck, there he is.
There he
Tony
is.
Goat Troll. Llama Gamer saying, damn, Aubrey is that dude. Forever DC was saying TJ Bass has been low-key decent. Oh, no, sorry. Resin said undrafted TJ Bass is decent, but he's not really part of the draft class.
It's bad when your undrafted backup guard is your best player as a rookie. That just proves our point that this draft class has been such dog shit.
Yeah, and then
Hey, second best.
and then Gus.
We got MVP Aubrey.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Sorry, yes, okay, you're right.
Gus and Forever DC in the chat are saying he can't be rookie because he's played in the USFL. So I don't know if there's some sort of clause that if you're in the USFL, you're not able to be a rookie.
Because it's
So
professional.
like I get it.
Well, and that
But
is,
he's
well, it's just,
but he can
it's technically now, I think, Spring League. So with the USFL and the merger with the XFL, it's now the UFL. And now it is considered the Spring League, and they do have that kind of relationship with the NFL. So I don't know if the USFL had that before, which is obviously what chat's going to correct us on after after I mention this. But yeah, so they're saying he can't get it. So
interesting.
take that. Okay. Did Taming the Lions move us up? We are talking power rankings.
I like that.
Ooh. So
So
TGR.
Yeah, well, in Eric Edholm fashion.
Fuck Edholm, you mother. Okay, here, let me
Who did
bring
he
it up
give
for you
away?
boys.
Who did he give away?
Well, I mean, if you can remember where the Eagles were last week, then he'll give
How are
it
they
away,
in the
but
top 5 still?
Cowboys replace Eagles in top 5. Dolphins
Oh, sorry.
slip.
I
as
just read
playoff
Eagles
slip.
in top 5.
Ants going haywire already. What the fuck?
Okay, so
Okay.
we do our predictions. We always let because once a position is picked or number is picked, you can't pick that one.
So
What
you
were
got
they
it
last week? What were the Cowboys last week? 6?
They were number
6.
6 last week. So TGR.
TGR, you go first.
And I know you read this already, TGR. You freaking cheating son of a gun.
Wait, so hold up. We're guessing like the top 5 or what's going on?
Where are
No,
the
you're
Cowboys?
just guessing Cowboys power rank,
Okay, gotcha. Shoot.
but it does
I
tell you
say-
top 5.
Yeah. I say the Cowboys jumped up. So they were at 6. I would say they jumped up to 4.
Ooh,
Fair enough.
that's a
Okay.
good spot. I'm just going before the bandwagon boys. 5.
Okay, I'm going to go
5, okay.
3.
Fuck.
Whoa.
AJ's in a tough spot now.
Wow, you're going to you actually
Well, it
think
can't
they're
be
number
2. And
You
it's
actually
not
think
gonna
they're
be
number
6.
2?
Well, it can't be 6. It tells you they're
I'm
in the
gonna go
top
2.
5.
I have to go 2.
Wow,
Yes,
you're
go
number
two.
1.
okay.
But we know number 1 and 2 is going to be Ravens, 49ers.
Ravens,
Fran,
49ers. Yeah, Ravens, 49ers. Then it's going to be the Cowboys. Then it's going to be the Dolphins.
Okay, week 18 here.
Oh,
we go.
Cowboys usually who picked 3? You picked
I did.
3 yet?
I did.
That's actually
Oh,
good.
sorry. I think it's going to be Cowboys.
You're
Cowboys,
confusing yourself.
Lions, then Dolphins.
What?
I don't know.
There's- it's Baltimore, number
You mean
1.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 3,
Yeah,
4,
okay.
5.
Baltimore Ravens.
course.
Obvious.
So who picked 3?
I did.
San Fran, 49ers.
Okay. Ad's got a good spot.
Cowboys!
Yeah, there they are.
Okay,
are.
they largely played a good game against the Lions, which was important to see, even if it came down to a controversial penalty
Oh, shut
on Detroit's late 2-point conversion. The Cowboys didn't look quite as invulnerable. Fuck you at home. At home as they have
this guy. I hate this guy.
didn't look quite as invulnerable at home as they have for most games at AT&T Stadium over the past few years, letting things start to slip away late on Saturday. The tables certainly turned the following day with the Eagles' loss to the Cardinals. Why are you even bringing that up, idiot? Which suddenly made Dallas the massive favorite to clinch the NFC East title in Week 18. Setting aside Philly's loss, this win was significant for the Cowboys, who otherwise would have extended a losing streak. Nothing to say why you moved them into number 3.
No, it was
Adam?
it was just all backhanded compliments.
Like,
That's all it was.
nothing.
They were good at home, but not good at home this week. They barely, at home.
But
That's a swing and a
but,
miss.
Eagles lost, so
Yeah, Eagles lost, so there it is.
Speaking of that Eagles loss, I had taken mine and Adam's mother out for dinner because it was her birthday and I was going to be out of town. So I took her out for dinner or for lunch, and I had the Eagles Cowboys or Eagles Arizona game just sitting there. I had to watch. I couldn't help it. It was the fourth quarter.
She loved
was
the
so
fact
close.
that she loved the fact that it was on. Probably.
Oh, she loved watching it. We both cheered happy when they lost.
Yeah.
Guys, which one was more exciting, the Cowboys winning or the Eagles losing?
Well, it had to
Cowboys
start.
winning.
Cowboys winning.
Eagles losing was more of just like a pleasant surprise.
It was like, oh my God! What day was that? Was that
That was the next
Sunday.
day.
New Year's Day?
Sunday. Yeah.
New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was just kind of just like, oh, that's such a surprise because I wasn't even really paying attention to the game until the fourth quarter.
Me too. Me either. I was like watching, and then I was because I saw the score when Eagles were up whatever 21-6 or 7, whatever the score was there, and I was like, ah, shit, here we go. And then I just randomly refreshed it on my laptop when I was gonna bait or something like that, and yeah, fuck. I was like, oh shit, I got to tune into this. So.
Cowboys game was more exciting just because the way it ended, but then the Eagles loss was. I mean, whenever the Eagles lose, it's awesome.
How do we feel about Cowboys being number 3, gentlemen?
Too
Obviously,
high.
too high. Okay, where do you think they should have been?
Probably top 10. I wouldn't have put them in the top 5.
Yeah,
Who's your top 5?
I don't know. I can't spring them off.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but no. This is valid.
Nope,
This is
yeah,
valid.
yeah,
I used to get into arguments with people about this all the time. And for your namesake, Tony Goat Romo, I used to get into arguments with people about Tony Romo being either a top 5 or a top 10 quarterback. And when anyone said no, he's not a top 5 quarterback, I used to say, well, then name the fucking 4 guys ahead of him. Or if they said he wasn't a top 10 quarterback, I'd say, well, name the 10 guys ahead of him. So if you don't think the Dallas Cowboys are top even 5, you got to name
Come
the
back
5
to me. I'm gonna get my pen out here.
Okay,
I'm gonna make a list here.
good.
Real
Okay,
Get your
great.
pen out, and we need backup. We need reasons why here.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna roll through Ed Fuckholm's top 10 here.
Okay.
So next one is the Miami Dolphins, down 1.
Ooh, I like that. Demolished by the Ravens.
Lions didn't move. Fair enough.
Lions stayed chill. Yeah.
Number 5. Buffalo up 1. They've had a fucking up down.
They've had a freaking tumultuous season. And
they were outside of the top 10 before they
Yes.
smacked the Cowboys. They've just been on a rise right now.
Yeah.
And they got the Dolphins this weekend, so it's going to be Dolphins Bills this weekend.
Sunday night, man. That's a game to watch. I can't wait to watch that game.
Ooh, that is gonna be really good.
You're going to watch it at my place, or you're going to go home
Didn't they
like a
play
bitch?
not?
I'll probably be at home.
Didn't they play not too long ago?
Yeah, divisional teams. They'll play twice. I can't remember the last time, but definitely the second time.
Browns are low-key
Browns?
scary, yeah. Weird.
I like watching the Browns, man. Joe
Flacco.
Up 1 to number 7. Kansas City Chiefs up 1 to number 8. I mean, they are really swinging on Kansas's nuts. Next week too, Patty Mahomes ain't playing apparently. So
I don't want to go in. I'm not going in. I'm not going in.
I'm here.
I'm not here. I'm not here.
Number 9. Oh, stupid. Philly down 5.
Kick him out of the top 10.
Wow, down 5.
Kick him out of the
Love to see
top
that.
10.
Hey, we had a 6-point drop, so something like
I
that.
like
And
to
then
see that. And then
Rams.
And then the Rams are just coming up that list.
I think the Rams are a sneaky good team, man. I honestly think the Rams are a sneaky good team. And I know TGR said that we were going to be facing them more than likely in the wild card, which I thought we were going to be playing the seventh seed. And if Green Bay wins, I thought Green Bay was locked into being the 7th seed. But that's another pill to.
You can hear it in your voice. You're scared of the Rams. You don't want to play them in the wild card.
No, they're good. They have, dude. I don't care who we play against at home. If we lose to any of these bum teams in the wild card, at home, fuck this team.
But
Blow
you were
this team
telling
up.
me that you wanted the 5th seed instead of the number 2 seed.
When did I say that?
I'm just kidding. I'm just pulling.
No, I was saying that I was arguing, or we were talking how J Tuck was saying the 5th seed would be better. No, give me those 2 home games all day.
Ultra was saying he wants the 5th seed instead of the
No,
2nd.
anyone saying that is dumb. Like, sorry, not
You
dumb.
dumb.
Just weird.
Whoa.
Like, just a weird take,
bro.
It's a weird take.
Bro.
Why would a team that went 8-0 at home, why would you not want them to have 2 home games in the postseason?
Clip it. This is the clip.
This is the
This
clip.
I'll clip
This
this
is the
for
clip.
sure. And I'll point right now with my pen. Anyone that doesn't think we should have 2 home games and wants the 5th seed instead, so we can play Tampa Bay to then go play a harder team in their home in the divisional, that's just such a weird take in my brain.
Yeah, well, you're the one
But-
sitting with a fucking pig behind you.
Take
That's
2.
weird
Instead
as
of
shit.
saying weird, said what you originally said and say dumb. Take 2.
Yeah,
and
dumb.
action.
Take two. Take two. Anyone that thinks we should have the 5th seed instead of the 2nd seed is fucking stupid. Love you, J
Boosh.
Tuck. I do love J Tuck though.
I know we love Jade Tuck.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Okay, so back to the rankings. Okay, so I did write them down.
Okay.
Yes, I did eventually have the Cowboys in the top 5. I had them at 5. So I retract what I
Okay.
said.
Okay.
Okay. So what's your top 5?
The Panthers, the Commanders. No, I'm just kidding. So I had
I was like, okay.
the
Panthers, that's it. He's going for it.
Yeah, I got the Ravens, the 49ers, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Cowboys.
Bills.
Well, the Bills are that team that
Yeah.
if they turn it on, I agree. If they turn it on, they've done it. They've done it in the playoffs. Josh
Playoffs.
Allen, everyone playoffs. Josh Allen, he's got that big arm. They have a running game. I think that's a good top 5. The 2 teams he has ahead of us are actually
I mean, they beat us.
3. I was gonna say 3 of the 4 teams he has ahead of us beat us. So
I
you
mean,
can't fault it.
I think those are the top 5 teams, but I still think the Cowboys sit nicely at number 3. I still think we're behind the Ravens and the 49ers. Like we are, I think we're slotted where we should be right now.
But I will say this. At first, when Tom Brady said that there was mediocrity in the NFL, I was like, whoa. But seeing how it's panned out and seeing this season specifically, I can see what he means. I can agree.
What do you mean? Elaborate. Like in terms of quarterback play or just overall?
In
team?
everything. I mean, you look at all the teams right now. I mean, no one's really sticking out.
Oh,
Like
I
no one's
see.
really
Yeah,
that
yeah,
good
yeah.
besides I mean, I don't even trust the Ravens, and I don't even trust the 49ers because Brock Purdy's just a system quarterback with great weapons around him. The Bills, I mean, they're a tough football team. I wouldn't bet on them. The Dolphins can throw, but without Tyreek Hill, Tua's just, Tua.
You just tuna.
Hey, without
Chiefs aren't good. Chiefs are a subpar 500 team, but they have Patrick Mahomes, and the Rams are just on a hot streak right now. So I mean, there's just but it goes back to what we said earlier. Like the playoffs are open. If a team can take advantage,
Mhm.
get hot, and just realize it's a whole new season, it's a 4-game season in the postseason.
Yep.
Any of these teams, honestly,
Yep.
they could go for it.
It's
They
the
can get that Super Bowl.
2007 Giants, man.
Yep.
You just got to get hot at the right time. And I'll challenge your mediocrity word with parity, which is the NFL's wanted forever. They want parity in the NFL, right? They do want this. They want it to be any team, and they want it to be if they could have 32 teams
8 and
right
6
down to
or
the wire.
9 and 6.
Pardon?
If they had
Yeah,
32 teams at 9 and 6, they'd be like
They would love it if they could
Or
sell
10 and
you
6.
on week 18 that there's 8 games that you want to watch instead of 1. That's what the NFL wants, and that's how it is right now, right? Like there's multiple positions open in the postseason that haven't been settled. And I'm not saying the football has been sloppy, so I'll agree with that part of it. But the NFL loves this. Like the NFL is a company. They're week 18. There's multiple games. You have a 11 and 5 team that's playing. What's the Commanders' record right now? 4-11,
4-12.
4-12, and people actually give a shit about it. Like that's
Sure.
what the NFL wants. Like this is usually like okay, we'll watch it and we'll get drunk. But no, this is we actually are watching this because we want to see them win. So the NFL's laughing about this. But I do agree, like there's no clear-cut team that is a favorite outside of do you think San Fran's a favorite, or do you think there's some flaws with them going into the playoffs?
Playoffs.
I would say they're beatable.
I like that. I do like that. I like to know that. At home in the NFC Championship game, think the Cowboys can take them down?
Yeah, I think so. I think if the
I
Cowboys
like
can just
that.
get over themselves, I think
Yeah.
because it's all mental. It really is. It's their mental state going into this game and going on the road. if they can just get over that and just remind themselves, if they can just look at the man in the mirror and
I like
just
it.
remind
Man
themselves,
in the
man, they're
mirror.
a great, good, talented team. They got the pieces together. I've been saying this all season long. They got the pieces to win a Super Bowl. It's right there. And it has been since the season began. They just got to execute. And a lot plays into that. Obviously, it's easier to say that than it is to execute that. But I mean, it's there, man.
Well,
I mean, you can beat the 49ers. You
Ja-
look at the past two games in the playoffs, wild card and the divisional round, like those were close.
Yeah.
We watched those games back and they were heartbreakers, but there
Oh.
were multiple opportunities in both those games to win them.
Yep.
Gus in the chat saying NFC Championship could end up in Dallas should the Niners play the Rams in the second round. Rams knocked out the Niners before on the postseason.
Well, that's what I'm talking about because I know we were talking. TGR was saying the Rams versus Cowboys
Crack 'em if you got
wild
'em.
card, but I thought crack 'em if you got them. If the Packers win this against the Bears this weekend, I think that's who we play.
Well, real quick, because I have a sheet that tells us all those potentials. So,
Oh, I did make I made a nice little playoff graphic, and I was like, did I fuck up?
so we got our Washington Commanders hosting the Dallas Cowboys at 1:25 p.m. PST. So,
We're talking Washington.
4:25 EST, 3:25 CST, in Washington. And our show will kick off 1 hour before that, so make sure you hop on. TGR, I'm not sure if you're able to make it, but you're obviously welcome to come give your thoughts.
Yeah, you're gonna come on the pre-show.
That's a
I
no.
would,
Wow, yeah. Hey, just say no. Just say no.
No. Hold up. Pre-show, yes.
Okay.
During the game, I can't stay, obviously.
No,
no, we don't want you.
We don't do during the game. We don't want you during the game. We can't have you during the game.
We want
Pre-show,
we want you before the
pre-show,
game, then we toss you like a used sock.
You're right. My
Socks.
rates go up in the middle of the game, so you
Yeah.
guys got to pay more for that, and
Too
I just
expensive.
don't think you guys can afford it. So, but
We
yeah,
definitely
I'll be there. I'll be there for the pregame show.
Sweet.
I didn't know you guys wanted me. That's what it was about. I didn't.
We
know
always
wanted
want
me.
you.
Not only do we want you, we need you.
Whoa.
Oh, you are going over a playoff thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were just wondering, talking about what the potentials are.
Okay.
So if the so if the Cowboys, we'll go negative first. If the Cowboys lose to Commanders and Eagles beat the Giants, the Cowboys would then face Bucks, Saints, or Falcons. So it would for the Cowboys to play at Buccaneers, this would happen if the Buccaneers beat the Panthers. Cowboys to play at Saints. This would happen if the Bucks lose to Panthers and the Saints.
This isn't. I don't think this is the right. Is this right?
This is if they lose to Washington.
Oh, if the Cowboys lose.
Yeah. Then I'll go to win. We'll do the negatives first here. And if so the Cowboys will play at Saints if the Bucks lose to the Panthers and the Saints beat the Falcons, and the Cowboys will play at the Falcons if the Bucks lose to the Panthers and the Falcons beat the Saints. So Buccaneers, Saints, or Falcons if Cowboys lose. Of those three teams, who would you rather the Cowboys face?
Any of them.
Doesn't
To be
matter.
honest.
Yeah, any one of them.
any of the NFC South. I don't care. I mean,
I
that's
would
why
say-
that's why a lot of people are vying for the 5th seed because
Yeah.
it seems like a winnable game in the divisional, but it's like that's such a weird way to go about it because it's one.
Oh,
game.
absolutely. I'm so glad you said that because that's such a loser mentality. Thinking
Yeah.
that, like, I want to lose this game so I can have the easy way out. No, it's the
In the-
freaking Super Bowl.
yeah.
The road to the Super Bowl should be hard and it should test you every single round. You don't want to start off with a T-ball hit, Like, give us the best of the best so we know when we win the Super Bowl, there's no doubt in everyone's mind that we beat the best and we played them head to head.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
last year when we beat mediocre Brady in that
Exactly.
first round, right?
It's true. I mean, that did feel good. We retired Tom Brady, but like, I don't want to play the NFC South. I don't want to play the NFC South,
Okay.
especially after coming off a loss to Washington. The only way we're playing the NFC South is after we lose to Washington, and if Washington can beat us, any of those three teams can beat us. So
Out of those three matchups, though, I would say the Saints are probably the more concerning out of those three teams.
Falcons, Saints,
Yeah.
If we
and
played them.
Bucks is the Saints. Yeah.
Okay.
They got some
Crack 'em if you got
Crack
'em.
'em if you got 'em,
So
They got
son.
some. They got
Crack
some
'em if
crack
you
'em if
got
you,
'em,
they got
son.
some crack 'em if you
They
got
got
'em.
some
I didn't know
crackers,
that.
you got 'em.
Okay.
They got some weapons. I mean, if the Cowboys win, these teams are a lot more scary, and I can understand why your mind would immediately go there. But I'm on board with you, TGR. You got to go out there and you got to have confidence that you can beat any team who you're going to meet in the playoffs. If you want to get to the
Playoffs.
Super Bowl. So if Cowboys win, Adam, do you want to roll through these ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Maybe,
so
maybe not. Maybe not.
Second seed Cowboys. We have Packers at Cowboys. This game happens if the Packers beat the Bears in Week 18. Plus the Rams need to beat the 49ers. Then we got Rams at Cowboys.
Okay.
This game happens if the Packers beat the Bears in Week 18. Plus the Rams lose to the 49ers.
So TGR's right. More than likely, if we win, we're expecting to win. We're expecting the Packers to beat the Bears, but I don't think the Rams are going to beat the 49ers.
Well, plus
Right.
the
Well,
Rams.
So-
So,
Carson Wentz season.
so,
Oh
so-
yeah, Wentz is playing for the Rams, and Wentz is playing for the Rams this
And Sam
weekend.
Darnold's in for Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it's the backup bowl.
So it's a backup bowl.
I mean,
So
you
there's a
never know.
possibility.
Could happen.
So Seahawks at Cowboys. This game will happen if the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, the hot streaking Cardinals. Plus the Packers need to lose to the Bears. Saints at Cowboys. This game happens if the Saints beat the Falcons. Plus the Buccaneers beat the Panthers. Plus the Seahawks and Packers both lose. Holy shit. Put some fucking parlay on that one. Vikings at Cowboys. This game happens if the Vikings beat the Lions, plus the Seahawks and Packers both lose, plus the Falcons beat the Saints, plus this is a fucking bullshit paragraph. We ain't playing the Vikings. So, yeah. Out of these games, who do we want, boys?
Well, so
Well, you
this
ain't getting the
this game-
Vikings.
the Packers at Cowboys. This game happens if the Packers beat the Bears, plus the Rams beat the 49ers. So
Which is not Rams beating 49ers is not as out of question as I thought on Monday.
well, Christian
Absolutely.
McCaffrey ain't playing. Christian McCaffrey sure as fuck ain't playing.
Yeah, well, he didn't
Uh,
play fucking last week, and he cost me the gosh darn championship. F you, McCaffrey, and you fucking nine nerds. Sorry. Still a little
Rams or
post-traumatic stress.
Packers, bring them up, set them up,
Set him up, knock him down.
tee
Yeah,
them up, and let's tee them off.
I mean, we've already beat the Rams this season. They're hotter now than they were when we demolished them in season. But I mean, Packers, they're not the same Packers that we faced in the past. So, Packers or Rams?
I mean, I think Rams are more concerning than Packers, and but I wouldn't mind Seahawks because at least we took them into the deep water and won during the season. So
I want the Vikings if we're picking.
If we're picking, yeah.
I'll
Oh, yeah.
say I the one that I would love to see just as a fan and what a way to start it off would be the Cowboys and Packers. I think that gets everyone's juices flowing because the Cowboys would beat the Packers and everyone hates the Packers because of everything that has happened. But you win it for Mike McCarthy. What a way to get a Super Bowl run going by getting that win for Coach. By beating his former team in the playoffs because you lost
Playoffs.
last season in the regular season. So that's the one I would love to see. Realistically, unbiasedly, I will say I think the Cowboys Seahawks game happens. I got the Bears beating the Packers.
Oh wow.
And I think Jordan Love and the Packers choke. So I would say the Bears get that win because they already got the number one locked in. I mean, because that's the Panthers pick that they traded for. So, I mean, go all in, bet the house.
Okay.
So I think the Bears can win that game, beat the Packers. And then the Seahawks, yeah, they're going to beat the Cardinals.
Okay. So,
Makes sense.
another question here. Nicholas Freud, he asked it earlier on, and I said we'd hold it, and he asked it again. Who's going to be the difference maker for the boys in the playoffs this year?
playoffs.
Playoffs. Like, let's
CD
say
baby.
CD Lamb. You
I think he keeps it rolling.
Tony
Dalvin
Pollard.
Cook, baby.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey,
We
okay.
both went running backs, though. I like that. I do like that. If we can find a running game in the next 4 games, man, look out. So I would love Dalvin Cook or Tony Pollard. Any running
Hunter
back.
Lipke going for
Let-
125 plus yards.
Wow.
And
Just-
18 fumbles lost.
Just absorbing the spirit of Mike Allstott
Yeah.
and just fucking
Oh yeah, mini stall.
mini
That'd
stop.
that'd be good.
Um,
AJ, who do you think? Oh, you said CD.
yeah, I mean, I just think that he's rolling, and maybe that's like not really super bold, but we're not in bold predictions just this yet. So
Ooh.
I'm going to say
How you feel?
Dak Prescott's going to be our difference maker this playoff run. We've
Which
seen
is good, Ad, because he was the reason we lost last year.
Exactly.
He was in the San Francisco game in the divisional. He was the Dak Prescott to me was the sole reason the Cowboys lost.
Yeah.
Everyone else did their jobs. He was the defense held the scary 49ers to 19 points. Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions. The Cowboys only scored 12 points. If Dak can play like we know Dak can, and he figures that out this postseason, then hell yeah, he'll be the guy that drives us to the Super Bowl.
His biggest asterisk has always been Dak chokes in the big games.
Let me ask this: Why do you hate Dak so much?
No.
Just kidding.
Hey, it is well documented that we are Dak riders.
Yeah, minus when we lost last playoff, and I'm on record.
Yeah, but we were livid. That's all
live
the
it,
chips were on the
and
table.
drug,
Chips were on the table, man.
I get it. I was livid even after the Week 5 loss.
Definitely, because it was like it's a different season. We're this team now, and then we got smoked.
When you were out there, when you saw the shellacking in Arizona, were you just running around saying this ain't my team, TGR? Is that what you're doing? Tearing your shirt off?
No, man. I go down with the ship. So
Nice.
That was pretty crazy. We actually almost got in a fight, actually, my dad and I, because
TGR and Papa TGR?
With each other or against Arizona
no.
fans?
With the Arizona Cardinals fan, because we had tickets like near the end zone where Dak threw the interception to end the game. And this Cardinals fan just comes up right behind me, puts his hands on my shoulder and starts shaking me and just like starts yelling in my ear. He's like, how about them Cowboys? And I'm just like, first off, I don't know you. Do not touch me.
Yep.
You know, so it was pretty eventful. But I was like,
that's when you need to stone cold stun him.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was like, I'm not home. I'm outside of my territory. So, but not that I could put up a fight. That's not me saying that I'm gonna fight anybody. I would not last.
That's when you need the CanFan boys. Adam and I pick up Alex and we just hit him.
Oh yeah,
we smack him into people. That's our move.
Alex jumps up
like a cartoon.
Alex jumps up in between Anthony and we grab him and we battery ram his legs into somebody.
I think we do for you.
I think you played that one right.
Here's a nice one though. Not to go off of TGR's drunken brawl story, but Resin says in the playoffs, 3 points can mean the world. Aubrey's going to be the difference maker.
Ooh,
I hope so.
Hey,
I do hope so.
From our previous playoff kicking results, that would be welcome for Aubrey just to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
just keep on course, man.
Oh, please, Aubrey. I mean, had Jimmy Johnson not get put into the Ring of Honor, Aubrey would be missing every single field goal in the playoffs. But that ain't happening.
So here,
the curse.
What if he just chokes? What if he just like completely goes like Martin Gramatica?
Shut your mouth.
I think for him, I mean, look, it's hard to know what any other person is thinking but yourself. But from what I think, is I think Aubrey's like past the point of being
return.
Yeah, like I mean, I just think that I don't think he's gonna get the yips. I don't think
ice veins.
I don't think he's gonna get that because he also had like very consistent kicking in the USFL. So it's not like this was just a remarkable year for him. He had something like I think 50 plus kicks or made. I don't know if it was in a row, but he had a very a really good career there. And not to say that USFL is comparable to the NFL at all, but kicking is kicking from...
Yeah, kicking a football through 2 uprights is kicking a football through 2 uprights.
As you said that, I love weed in the chat, which is, I don't know, I thought that was you I thought you were over there chatting that for chatting as this.
Yeah.
But I love
think
weed.
That's Harold.
I love weed in the chat. Says USFL is not NFL.
I love the way
Brandon
Aubrey approaches the game. I like the way Aubrey approaches the game. It's almost like borderline, like he doesn't care. Like if you hear his story about like, my wife said, hey, you should, try out the NFL. He's like, yeah, I should try it out.
I will.
And then he becomes like a perfect kicker. So I kind of love his mentality of like, he's not obviously sold on the idea of like, I got to make this, I got to be the best kicker. No, he's just like, let's just do it.
Yeah, I guess
I think that's what I want in my kicker.
Yeah,
He's
you
like
want a Mr. Roboto.
He's like, after I started kicking in the NFL, my blowjobs went up 20%. This has been the best decision I've ever made in my life. Hey, real quick, Richard Sherman. I don't know why
He's
he
an
thinks.
idiot.
I don't know why he thinks he can comment on the Cowboys after his earlier comments that he made this season. But Sherman
His
says,
CeeDee Lamb take may go down as one of the dumbest takes of NFL lore.
I think so. I think so. But he says the Cowboys should rest players versus Commanders. My question to you is, at what point? I know. At what point would you consider resting your starters?
Up 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Oh, we're getting fourth quarter hat Dak. That's what we're getting.
Yeah, that's it. Like rest with the second seed on the line, 2 postseason playoff games on the line. You're telling me you should rest starters? No, not till the game is sealed, packed, and delivered, man.
Sealed, delivered. It's Dax.
That's what it is. Thanks, Ad, for that. I didn't know the order of the words, but you nailed it.
Got it, baby.
So if we go into the fourth quarter, 28-14.
No, fuck no.
I don't think they would.
No, me neither.
They shouldn't. They
Score
shouldn't. At
a
least.
touchdown first drive, go up 35-14.
How many minutes left? 10?
10.
14 minutes and 59 seconds.
14 minutes and 59 seconds, up 3 touchdowns.
They score on the first play of the quarter.
My first answer was up 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Yeah. That's when you can start. Other than that, this is a must-win game. This rests on you being an 8-0 team versus whatever our away record was, which wasn't very good.
3-5.
Exactly. 8-0 versus 3-5. Like, do we want that? No. Get the W.
Yeah.
At all costs.
And what's your biggest matchup then for this game? Like, is there a matchup to watch, or is this just kind of being like, let's hope the Cowboys come out and do what we think they're going to do?
I would say the Cowboys cleats versus the grass is the biggest matchup for me.
It's funny that TGR said that. I was going to say Cowboys versus the stadium.
Wow. Hey.
Remember that one time they found scissors on the field? I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like 2 seasons ago, but like
dude,
it was Taylor Heineke.
Found some scissors.
That stadium is like a house. It's like a house of horrors.
That's hilarious.
It's like, yeah, we rent this out on Thursday to Friday for a Halloween show. So there's a lot. You might see some wild things out here.
It could be Cowboys versus the weather because Bandwagon Baba said it's calling for snow in Washington this weekend.
Wow.
Ooh.
And I don't know. I guess what I haven't fact checked that, so I'm just taking it from Bandwagon Baba that she weather networked it because obviously if she's saying that, she was looking at the weather in Washington because she's stressed about the game.
Bandwagon Baba is all about it. Doppler Baba.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, if it's snowing on the road, you're not going to see those scissors. You know, you're not going to see those scissors.
Yeah, I mean, if it's snowing. If there's any kind of hostile weather, forget about it. These boys are soft. They're not built for that.
Rest the starters. If it's snowing, Rush and the boys are going in, and we're playing 5th seed the way that J-Tuck wants it, baby.
It says a morning rain or snow, showers and spots. Otherwise, mostly cloudy.
Bandwagon Bob is clapping in here saying 70% chance
of what?
Of snow.
Of snow. Oh, geez, wow. Well, who knows? These meteorologists, they lie and they just fucking they do methamphetamines.
You know what sucks too is I think the Commanders are wearing all white too, and the Cowboys are going to stick out like a sore thumb with their blue.
How are you going to see them? How are we supposed to see them? Good thing they have stupid colored helmets like this thing behind me.
Hey, Ant, come sit on my lap. Okay, so no matchups, eh? I guess there's not really.
No, this should just be. There is no matchup to watch this.
There is. There's Deron Bland versus Sam Howell for the 5 and 2 interceptions, boy.
It should be domination. If we have any hope, and I know I've always preached divisional games can be close, but if we want any hope of this team doing anything in the rest of January, they better put the pedal down and just make this an easy win.
Well, speaking of, Oh, go ahead. Sorry, TGR.
Oh no, sorry, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Go for it.
He was probably going to trash the Cowboys or something. Who knows?
It probably was leaning towards that. I mean, the Cowboys suck on the road.
See,
Like you flip a coin, you don't know which team you're gonna get on the road. And like I said, I wasn't trolling when I said they were soft. These boys are soft. They're not built for that kind of tough, weather football. They like playing in their nice, cozy stadium where the AC's just right and the turf is just perfect. So you throw those boys out there on a war field like FedEx Field.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah, but those 4-12 Commanders, they're fucking built for tough though. They're
Yeah.
those 4-12 Commanders, Howell with the most interceptions in the NFL. Those guys,
Hey,
they're built tough.
they're definitely built for tough. 4 wins tough.
Ooh, I see what you did.
Hey,
okay, let's get into some boldies and let's get into some score predictions.
yeah, score prediction, bold predictions. You know how we do, chat. Throw in your score predictions. And if you get it right, you can have a chance at winning. Well, you will win some CanFan merch, but if you throw your score predictions in, you got a chance to win. So, who wants to start off first? Anyone feel a strong vibe?
Give it to fucking TGR first.
We're doing score predictions first, and then we'll do bold predictions after.
Scores, okay.
I'll start off.
Snow or no snow? Snow or no snow?
There'll be snow.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's going to be a 35-21 victory for the Cowboys.
Whoa.
No
field goals?
No field goals.
Damn it. You're right. There is going to be field goals.
No missed extra points? No safeties?
It's going to be 37-20 to 21.
2-point conversions. Maybe the Cowboys have a big lead, and the Commanders are. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to mess up your score.
We pay the refs off again and a missed 2-point conversion.
37-21 Cowboys. Couple of field goals. Aubrey takes the total points scored in a season record home with him as well. And those triplets are now only hanging. Well, there's no records that they hold anymore, if that's the case. Well, except for, of course, Smith's running record. So should shut up.
How many touchdowns did Dak need to get the record? 6?
6, yeah.
You needed 6? I'm going 48-13. 48-13. Cowboys.
Washington? Okay, I was going to say.
On top of your score predictions, you have to tell us whether you're going to get an NFC East champs hat or shirt.
Oh, man, I would love to get both
of
those, to be honest.
Hey, I never even thought about that.
That's true.
I think they come in hoodies, too. So.
Oh, a hoodie would be sweet. But you know what? That shit sucks. Like, I don't really care if they. I want a Super Bowl hat and Super Bowl shirt.
I'd take the shirt.
Well, you've been waiting 27 years, so you have a better chance of getting the Division One.
Yeah, but that's what I don't own any of those though, and I don't know if I'd want an NFC Championship. Like, unless an NFC Championship shirt would be sweet the year they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's like, sweet, we were the best in our division and didn't really win anything.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
You know what I'm really excited for? What I'm really excited for is if the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl, you can buy those jerseys with the Super Bowl emblems on them, with the Super Bowl logos. That would be sick.
A Brandon Aubrey Super Bowl jersey? Shit, yeah. Let's get it.
An automatic Aubrey jersey is not out of the cards. That's
okay.
For sure.
TGR and Ad, you guys are stalling on your score predictions.
Go ahead, TGR. I know what mine is, but I'll let our guest go first.
I was just about to say, I was really it was in the cards to buy an Aubrey jersey. I was just about to get the customized. I was thinking about. Anyways,
you should do it. You should.
Probably not. That's a waste of money. But what else? So my prediction, it'll be close. It'll be a little bit bumpy. I think, yeah, Cowboys do run away with it, 34-19.
Nice.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
I still like that because it's a good store. I don't like it as much as I like TGR's perfect tees, but that's still a great score that you picked.
How are we getting 19, TGR?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's not they score. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I have no idea. They're gonna get to 19.
No. One touchdown and 4 field goals. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 2 touchdowns with 2-point conversions and a field goal.
I like that. There's ways.
There's ways.
What did the Lions do?
Yeah.
What did the Lions do?
Yeah.
Let's just figure out what they did to get to 19.
Score 2. Yeah, score 3. Yeah, whatever it was.
Or 8 safeties and a field goal.
There you go.
So, okay, so
I hope not
That's
that
a good one.
If the Cowboys score 34 points with 8 safeties, that's a wild
That'd be
game.
insane. Yeah, that's a wild game.
That's my bold prediction.
Okay.
8 safeties.
I'm gonna say mine, and then I'm gonna say some chats. Okay.
Yep.
Actually, I'll say some chats first to hold it out because Anth hates me.
Choose the Commanders just to be different.
No, not at all. Diguiato says 24-17 Cowboys win. Cry About It says Dallas 31-6.
That was actually going to be my initial one, 31-6. I was going to go with that. That's funny.
That's good.
And Estroza 56 says 35-3.
Okay.
Doesn't say who,
Whoa.
but I'm assuming the Cowboys.
Boys.
Llama Gamer says 28-10 Cowboys. Radical 808, 35-7 Cowboys. Julian 424 says 52-28. Dak goes bonkers and puts his name back in the MVP conversation. Let's go. Like that,
be
baby.
I think that's going to be
wild.
tough to do right now. I think
Yeah.
that's going to be tough to do.
Gus says 29-10 Cowboys. I'm not going to say his boldy yet because, you know.
That's a
And
good
then
one.
and Forever DC says he'll get back to us before the game
Yep.
starts. So that's fine. So mine I was gonna originally go 43-13 for the Cowboys, but Ant's in the 40s. So I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go 51-13 Cowboys.
Holy shit. So we got it. I mean,
51. Is that a 1 or a 750?
That's 51.
As long as you know you're writing over
51 points.
Yeah.
51-7, then you're getting
No,
some super rush
51-13.
touchdowns.
51-13.
51-13. That's a fourth quarter benching in
Yeah.
those scores.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Oh,
mine,
yeah.
I think, is a fourth quarter benching. But with mine, it doesn't really play into the benching because I just went with Dak getting his record. That was the only reason that I went off my score.
Here's my boldy if I can make it.
Make it.
I think Ferguson comes out and has one of those games, gets 120 yards, and becomes dethrones Schultz from not obviously Witten is the best tight end in Cowboys history, but dethrones Schultz from Schultz's best season. So he needs 117, I believe, yards. I think he's going to get over 117 yards, and then I'm going to parlay that with TP20, 120 yards rushing.
Jeez. Okay.
Wow.
I don't feel great
I'm
about
just
it,
going to
but-
say mine right now. Dak Prescott breaks his own personal record, which is also Cowboys record, 6 touchdowns thrown to hit 38 touchdowns on the season.
Nice.
Boosh, baby.
You think he gets 38 TDs? Okay.
That's a big
I'm going for
boosh.
it. When he broke it the last time, he needed 5. It
Yeah.
was the last game of the season. He was playing the Eagles. No one thought he was going to do it.
And he did
I mean, 5's a little bit more. 6 touchdown passes is a fucking lot, but
5
that's
is
my bold
tie.
prediction.
5 is tie. 6
5 is a tie. I'm saying he breaks it. 6
Okay.
touchdowns thrown.
Dang.
TGR Adam.
TGR, what's your boldy?
Shoot. I'll go Brandon Aubrey goes 6 for 6.
Wow.
Wow. That'd be sweet. Finishes the season with 41 for 41. That'd be
They're
pretty
just like,
dope.
give it to Obs.
Damn, dude. I like it. I like it.
I do like that.
And that is bold.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Forever DC said 1 TD and 4 field goals for his boldy. I don't know if that's his boldy, but that's what he was saying there. So a lot of Aubrey love.
Now you're
Okay,
bold.
mine's gonna be so definitely. I'm gonna add my bolds, the 2 Micah sacks and 2 Bland interceptions, but I'm gonna add on a D-Law force fumble, scoop and score.
Okay.
D-Law doesn't have
Maybe-
to be the one that actually scoops it and scores it, but he's the one who's gonna
Is it-
force the fumble for a scoop and score.
Okay. Gotcha. That is very specific.
And I actually do think out of in within my score realm, and this isn't one of my bolds, but in that score realm, I do think that defense is going to get 3. We're going to get 3 defensive touchdowns in my score in my
Whoa.
multiverse.
Okay.
That's it. You said it. So before we finish the episode, we started at this. I think it was might have not been midway, but we started making like bets. We were just doing fake bets. Admin and Alex were both given fake CanFan dollars or bucks to then bet, and then the winner of the fake betting universe got a bottle of premium alcohol from the loser. But the rule was last week you guys were supposed to have your bets pre-picked this week. AJ, did you have your bet figured out?
So here's what's gonna happen.
I'm just gonna bet on the fucking Cowboys.
No,
to win.
here's what's gonna
Simple.
happen. I just want to say this right now. Good job, sir.
Yeah, I can't win because
let me know. Let me know what you want.
No,
I'll have it on Sunday.
We're doing gin, and we're doing it's not top, but it's second shelf.
I got you.
Second shelf
I'm
gin.
gonna get you a nice primo gin for Sunday's game. It was good betting with you all.
Next season we're gonna refine it.
Next season we're gonna refine it. Next season we're actually gonna have to place our bets inside some sort of like
capsule
CanFantasy betting thing. You know what I'm saying?
All I've had to do was figure out a $50 parlay to at least have, because AJ was just gonna come and say bet on the Cowboys winning.
Yeah.
Listen,
and Ad didn't do it.
Listen, I actually spent time looking into it. I spent probably an hour and a half looking at different betting sites to try to do mock bets. And then it came down to the point where I did sign up for Bet365, and I started to go through, and I'm just like, I'm looking at this thing to try to do my parlay. And I'm like, I don't even know how to pick all that fun stuff. So it's like, I fucking gave up.
Well, we're gonna
AJ, congrats on winning the CanFan Buckaroos medium shelf gin bottle from Adam.
Medium shelf, second shelf.
Technically, Bocce put extra money into it to bump it up to top shelf.
Oh, that's right. So we got to do top shelf.
So I will go top shelf gin. It'll be like a Hendrix or something like that. Like it'll be in the $100 range.
Ooh,
perfect. There we go.
It is what it has to be.
Final thoughts. What do we got? TGR final thoughts.
Cowboys are the more talented team. They should win this game, but I still don't trust them in a lot of ways. They failed to score 20+ points in the past 3 weeks. They were a penalty away from a 3-game losing streak. I don't think everyone should be as hyped as they should going into this game. I think it should be a tough fight on the road, especially because the Cowboys suck on the road. And we're not only the Cowboys, we're the soft boys. So, yeah, but I still think we win, and I will get a NFC East champion shirt.
Nice.
Okay.
I do like that you say that we win still, because your motto is, you're a realistic, unbiased Cowboys fan, but you kind of sound like every other fucking crying Cowboys fan out there, TGR.
Oh!
Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now.
I actually liked it. I'm fine.
Attacking my brand?
No. I love your brand, TGR.
I'm fine with the critiques, and I'm fine with what he said for his outcome, as long as it finishes with the Cowboys victory. Get that 2 seed. Let the dice roll in the postseason. This game that we didn't think was 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, we didn't think it was going to be important. It is important. We have to win this game to have a better chance in getting to the Super Bowl, which all of us fans have wanted for a long ass time. So
look, I love having TGR in here. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, man.
I love the different perspective you bring, because we are bandwagon boys here, me and Adam, and we can sometimes get caught up in all that bandwagon folklore. But at the end of the day, man, I appreciate hearing your point of view. And then also coming out, we all agree at the end of the day, Cowboys are going to take this home. This is going to be a dub, whether it's a hard-fought dub or not. That's what we're looking at. So, let's go Cowboys.
I will also say this, that if you're out there and you aren't subscribing to Tony Goat Romo, even if you don't like what he's been saying on this show,
no,
fantastic content. Look at week to week, watch his Madden predictions, killing it on TikTok, obviously Instagram, follow him all those platforms. Got to have him on more than fucking one episode a year.
True. That's true.
He was on our draft. He was on our draft extravaganza. Definitely want him on at least once a month. He's going to be on our pregame show, hopefully our postgame show, maybe a halftime show for Sunday's game. If you're out there listening to us right now, you are the real ones. You're still here. We love every single person in chat. Come join us. We're going to be live an hour before the game on Sunday. You what? Because I want to fuck the chat? Yeah, I do. Okay, so sue me. Minus my mom, who's in the chat. I don't want to fuck her.
Where can they find TGR though?
Hey, the chat pays the bills. You gotta.
You can find.
Gotta show love.
Okay, you can find TGR on all social media platforms, right?
Yeah,
Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube,
Fake
X,
tube.
TikTok, OnlyFans, everything.
There it
Everything.
is. I
Get
know
those
what I'm going to
TGR.
do.
I only
Tutties,
yeah,
brother.
and I only subscribe to the OnlyFans, but it's good content. It's wholesome content.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
And
it's
if you
very
didn't-
biased and very unrealistic.
And two things, if you didn't already know, TGR lost to the Bandwagon Boys in the CanFantasy Football
Heyo.
League. Fuck you, TGR. And if you know anybody out there who's a Lions fan or an Eagles fan, or more importantly, a Commies fan, or not a Cowboys fan, you go out and tell them to go fuck themselves.